Hey indie game fans, welcome back to I Dream of Indie. I'm Ole Gamer Joe here with another review today. We're looking at Bake and Switch, a 4-player co-op experience that will be priced at $29.99, available September 10th of 2020. It will also be available on the PlayStation 4 and has previously been released on Steam PC. This one comes from developer Streamline Games and was published by Streamline Media Group. Bake and Switch takes place in the fantasy world of Fla, which is now under attack by Mould. The world is inhabited by peaceful dough-like creatures, and since it's under attack now, the Guardians have been reawakened. It's your task as a baker to feed them dough so that they are not hungry and they can take care of the new evil that is present. Similar to other party games, I guess the obvious comparison here is going to be Overcooked. Your goal is to work together as a team in Bake and Switch. You can have up to 4 players join forces and go through 100 different levels, essentially trying to toss dough into other dough. That's right, you're creating a massive amalgam of dough and then hurling it into the oven. You can work together as a team if you so wish, or you can kind of be independent of one another, just stock up some dough and throw it in, but do be aware that doing so will take some time as this dough has to cook in the oven and you won't be able to throw another dough in until it's done. As you can probably figure out, the bigger combination of dough that you cook, the more points that you'll score. You're able to choose between 6 different bakers in this game, each with unique abilities of their own. Sage, for example, the witch character and my personal favorite, can unleash a witch's brew attack of sorts after building up her meter. Yes, you do have to earn your special attack by cooking enough dough, and this will allow for her to bake buns at a more rapid rate, all while exterminating any of the nearby mold, which will creep up and try to destroy your dough, and you'll have to punch it off successfully in order to grab your dough again and try to cook it. Bake and Switch does feature an overworld map of sorts, with each of those 100 different levels having 3 stars to be earned. Getting a higher score, which is no easy task in this game, will allow you to not only unlock some of the new levels and worlds that are here, but also you can get some fun cosmetic changes for characters. While the goal of each level is more or less the same, Bake and Switch will toss some distractions at you from time to time that will make things a little bit more complicated. One example of this is an icon that can appear over the oven depending on the level that you're on, and this will show one of 7 different buns. You have to throw that particular type of bun into the oven in order to score points. That can make things a little crazy on its own, but then you have environmental hazards to worry about as well, including water that you can fall into or cliffs that you can fall off of. These hazards can cost you a good amount of time. Every level is on a timer in this game, so you're always under pressure. If you don't like pressure, this might not be the game for you. The only other real mechanic to worry about in this game is the dashing ability, which allows you to cross ravines in other areas, but unfortunately doesn't really speed up your character as a whole. There are 2 different gameplay modes in this one. You can play either as a team in co-op, or you can also do player versus player matches. I personally enjoyed the co-op team mode more than the versus mode, but for those of you that like the competitive style of these games, it's a decent option. Again, there's 100 different levels to go through, so plenty of different scenarios that you can put yourself in, and because each level does have its own unique layout and obstacles, the potential for fun, particularly if you can get those 4 players, is certainly there. On the whole, the concept of this game is quite fun. There's a good variety to the different bakers, as well as plenty of unique levels that utilize the same core gameplay mechanics, but manage to twist things just enough so as to not feel super repetitive. My biggest problem with Bake and Switch was that it just feels a little bit sluggish, to be honest with you. The frame rate wasn't quite where I would want it to be, and I feel like this is a game that could have really benefited from a performance boost, even if it did mean taking a graphical hit. But still, the gameplay is fine, it's just not as fluid as I would have liked. Speaking on those graphics though, Bake and Switch merely looks decent. The cartoony aesthetic is solid. Some of the water effects are actually pretty nice. I like the look of the cartoony characters as well. They're cute and animate well for the most part. Seeing all the different types of dough is fun, and the environmental traps are for the most part pretty easy to detect and point out. So it's not a bad looking title whatsoever, it's just not anything special. It looks merely okay. The soundtrack here, though, is pretty cute, as you might expect, and the buns all make adorable sounds when you're combining them together. You have some steel drums and tropical bass lines here, and plenty of adorable little noises, so it's a pretty good audio presentation on the whole. I think Bake and Switch sounds alright, and I think it looks halfway decent too. My big takeaway from this one was that I just wish it felt a little more fluid. I did like the concept of bake and switch though. There's fun to be had with the game, especially if you can manage to get 4 players together. There is no single player option here, so do be aware of that. There's no putting in AI or anything like that, but there is an online mode, which sadly I was not able to test at the time of this review. But the price is honestly a little steep here in my opinion for what this game is. If you're looking to add an adorable party game to your Switch library though, Bake and Switch does cook up some decent fun. Thank you so much for checking out our review of Bake and Switch here at I Dream of Indie. Please do consider hitting the subscribe button if you have enjoyed our coverage today. And if you would like to support us further, there's a ton of ways you can do so down in the description box below. We have memberships here at the channel, we have a merchandise store, we also have a Facebook page, a Twitter, and a Discord that you can hop in and chat along with us. However you end up supporting us though, we thank you so much.